Jai Sri Ram, friends. Welcome to Bharat Marg. Welcome, Vinay ji. Thank you for joining us at Bharat Marg. Appreciate it highly. Friends, today we are going to discuss about something very important. Exposed immigration scam in Canada. Okay, this is what we are going to talk about. It's about the student visa, how the system being abused. Okay, I don't think it can happen without the political masters involved in it. Because it's a big thing. You will hear it, and let's talk with the Vinay ji. But before going further, see, you have to understand this is shocking. I can promise you what you are going to hear is shocking. Students made as refugees. The people who come in student visa, they are getting converted directly to refugees for liberal voting scandal. Okay, that's what we are going to discuss about. You can comment and share. But before going further, friends, please make sure to like the video, comment on the video, share the video with as many people as you can, because with your support only we can reach out to many people. And also, friends, please make sure to subscribe the channel if you didn't, and also press the notification bell to stay connected with us, so that whenever we go live you get informed. Also, you can send out a WhatsApp message to +16479644790 and get our one dharmic message every day, and stay connected to the roots of Sanatan Dharma. Okay, you and your family, folks. It's a great thing. We do it as a free service. I'm sure you will take advantage of it and benefit. Okay, Vinay ji, thank you for joining. Welcome.
Thank you, Jay.
Okay, see here, I am going to show you some staggering information. I'm going to ask you some question on it. Okay, this is about the immigration scam in Canada, Vinay ji, and how the student visa is getting abused, and how the people who come in the student visa get converted to the refugee status and become the core voting bloc of a party, you know, liberal party scandal or whatever you call that. Okay, we will discuss about that. But see here, this is this is a picture with the stats. I will share it with you. Okay, and the source, etc. I will cover it. Okay, this is from Darshan Maharaja. Okay, thousands of international students are claiming refugee status after arriving Canada in 2022. That is last year. This number was 4,800. Vinayji, it's a very staggering, but it goes through the college. Okay, and this was discovered via a tip. Okay, and I will go through. See, it talks about from Seneca College how many people converted to refugee status, Centennial College, Niagara College. The college wise data is provided here. Study permit holder claiming the refugee protection since arriving in Canada between 2018 to 2022. Okay, it's mind boggling. These are all international students, Vinay. Okay, yeah, please take over.
No, thank you. It's a pretty interesting topic. I'm not sure about the source of this particular thing because information because I'm unable to find it on public domain. But as the person Darshan Maharaj claims, it is through ATIP, which is Access to Information and Privacy, which is a Public Safety Canada site. And here people pay, I think, $5 or $10. I'm not exactly sure. There's a fee for this, so you pay a fees, and then I think, yeah, it's about $5 for a request, and you pay the fees and you get some information, whatever information you need, anything that the government has and can share. So obviously there are restrictions about defense and safe security of the country and things like that, which the site is not allowed to share. But any other thing they can share. So now jumping on to the topic, the numbers are pretty mind-boggling, like you said, right? Like, it's unbelievable that so many people are applying for refugee status, and they come in as students. Now, I looked up this site and just wanted to see. This is on a legal immigration lawyer's website, actually. And so the question that I kind of asked was, do international students have unlimited time to file a refugee claim? Okay, so let's say a person comes in as an international student. Can he apply for a refugee status upon arriving or upon landing in Canada? Or does he have, sorry, I should say, can he claim a refugee status later on, maybe during the course of his education? Is that possible? The immigration lawyer basically said the simple answer is no. Because generally speaking, apparently the Canadian immigration authorities expect a person to file the claim upon the first entry or soon after that. Okay, they cannot claim a refugee status, like a year later or 2 years later, and they get frustrated. They don't want to study anymore, so they think that the best way is to seek a refugee claim and become a refugee here, and and whatever, right? You can't do that, obviously. So apparently, when you land, and or within maybe a couple of days or what, I don't know, soon after that, that's what it says. So I'm not sure what soon after that implies. So they're allowed to claim refugee status. So if these numbers are true, what Darshan Maharaj has published, so I'm kind of curious to know at what point in time they applied for refugee status. Did they apply for refugee status right after they landed here, or maybe a couple of days after they landed here, or did they land way into their program, which is apparently not allowed? So, but you know what? I'll tell you something. For people who think that Canada is a developed country, everything is straightforward, nothing is hanky panky here and stuff like that, right? So what you got to keep in mind is that even in Canada, like any other third world country, a lot of devious activities goes on here. Okay, if you have the money, if you have the connections and stuff like that, people cannot get a lot of things done. And I'm kind of surprised when I hear some of these stories. I'm kind of surprised. Initially, when I moved to Canada like several years ago, I used to be extremely surprised. But as days went by, years went by, I kind of got used to the whole thing. Now I kind of believe that yes, you can get done anything done in Canada so long as you have the money and connections. Okay. Now coming to your point, how is this going to impact things, right? I mean, this is basically creating a falsehood, right? These students come with a genuine thing of living in Canada for a short duration of time, maybe a year, 2 years, 4 years, whatever the duration of the program is, and then learn, educate themselves, and go back to the country they came from, whether it's India or Pakistan or any other country, right? And they go back there, and then contribute to the development, to the growth of the country because of their education they bring back home. So, but these guys who are or who have claimed or who are accused of claiming refugee status, how devious can that be? Like, that is unbelievable. If that's really happening, it's unbelievable. It's actually very devious, and it's actually creating a falsehood. And under what conditions are they failing, claiming refugee status? Are they claiming refugee status saying that, oh, the political situation in India, for example, is not stable, or they're being persecuted because they're particularly citing a particular cause or something, or something like that, or some police cases against them for some for who knows what, and now the government is coming after them and things like that. Like, this is all creating falsehood. Like, unbelievable. I just can't believe this.
Wow. But what happens if somebody files for a refugee status? You have any idea how long it takes and what happens in the due course of time?
So the way refugee status works in Canada is basically the moment you claim refugee status, nobody gives you a refugee status. You're basically, you should not have any documents or anything that connects you to a certain country, like a passport, for example. And none of that should be available, or any IDs from that country. Everything should have been destroyed, which is not a big deal. You know what? People when they get into the aircraft at the other, at the point of entry, they have all the documents and all of that. But once they get onto the aircraft, they basically have to rip it or eat it or whatever, it's or flush it down the toilet or something like that, right? Just cut it into small pieces and just flush it down the toilet. So it's not a big deal. But once you gain entry into Canada, right? Once you disembark from the aircraft and you come over to the immigration counter, at that point, most people seek refugee status at that point, because they say, I am sorry, I came from India, for example, and the government is after me, and they're persecuting me. There's a lot of persecution against my particular community or my kind of people or whatever it is. I mean, like, for example, let's bring up Khalistani movement, right? So these guys can say that we are sympathizers of Khalistani, we are protesters of Khalistani movement. So now, in India, it is not allowed. So we are considered terrorists. So I've run away from the country and I've come to Canada for asylum. So these are asylum seekers, right? And you have the pictures of these people who will provide them asylum. I'm seeing one person missing in this picture who is a part of the kind of indirectly part of the Canadian government, but I don't want to name names. So
But can I say he is a very close buddy of Justin Trudeau, the Canadian?
you most certainly can, because I don't want to name names. So, but yeah, sure you can. So
But
these are the people.
you cannot blame him. Nowadays, he is kind of on Twitter, all blazing against Justin Trudeau and trying to detach himself away from his failures. So,
Yeah, he could be. I mean, like, you know what? It's not a big deal. So these are people who actually provide the modus operandi. So the modus operandi for these kids, they even before they come to Canada, before they actually board the aircraft heading to Canada, those people are already coached. So you come to Canada, and then when you come into Canada, you just seek asylum here. And then how do I come to Canada? Because I'm a young kid, they won't give me a visa or anything to come to Canada. At that point, the guy will basically coach him. You know what? Apply for a student visa. Student visas are so easy to get, right? So you apply for a student visa and show that you are coming in, and they want to indoctrinate these younger kids into this Khalistani movement, for example. And once they come in here, they tell the immigration officers, I'm seeking asylum. I have no documents, nothing. What's your name? They give a name. I mean, name could be anything because they don't have any documents. So he could call himself Stephen. He could call himself George. He can call himself Abhijit or anything, right? So they come in, and once they claim that, then these people, this particular person or group of people, will be basically taken away by the authorities, and they will be put in a kind of a shelter, okay, which is a government controlled shelter. and
and they
and
don't throw back. They don't throw back right away, saying that, hey, buddy, you had the passport while sitting in the plane.
no, they don't. This is the unfortunate part, the way its system works, because here they say that this is an inclusive country. Everybody has a right of freedom of speech and blah blah blah, all that stuff, right? So given that, they don't want to throw these guys away, and especially when these guys are seeking asylum, and especially when they're seeking asylum from India, and especially because they have connections. Please don't forget
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Vinay, sorry to interfere you. See, one of the thing what Raminder Singh Bittu he talked about in the Lok Sabha is the how the Gurudwara is run by the terrorists, okay, openly in Canada, okay, and also he talks about two things, two major businesses of those who run Gurudwara. One is the drug distribution, and another is the immigration business. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So the thing is, once they are put away in the shelter, a case file is opened, okay, at the same time, and the case file basically is for this particular person. He's given a temporary ID card, okay, this particular asylum seeker, and it could be a number, it could be a name, or whatever they put him, categorize him under. Typically a number is given to him, and now these asylum seekers are basically given shelter, given food, given everything, like all whatever.
Which they won't get if they are in the student visa,
Exactly. So they enjoy those privileges, food, accommodation, everything, and then
and money to
basically,
spend.
a little bit money to spend and whatever. And basically, what it is, the thing is, the government basically says that they're kind of under house arrest. Okay, they won't be free to wander around and stuff like that, right? So they're under house arrest, and the thing is, the case file could take a few months or several months for the immigration authorities to make a decision on that particular person. Okay, so the person, they basically look at what is his story. They may have to bring him back, interview him a few times, and things like that, and these guys are being coached, and then they basically say, okay, you know what, at the end of 6 months or a year or 2 years, they'll say your asylum has been granted, you've been given a refugee status. Boom, you get your ID card. Now you are not anymore under house arrest. You're basically free to go. And I think there is a certain period of a cooling off period or something, that's what they call it. And during that period, you can do whatever you want, go around, get your documents and stuff like that, your SIM card, you're setting up your bank accounts and all that. And then after that, within a few weeks, they'll give them permanent resident cards. Okay, that is the landed cards. Okay, so once you become a landed person, now you're eligible to work. So now you go around looking for jobs and stuff, and if you have the connections, people find you a job, they give you a job, or your friends, your relatives, your cousins, your brothers, or whoever might have already come here. They may already be living here, they already probably are living here, and you just have to go
Or
look.
your masters who got you coached and brought you here too.
Exactly. And these people, like I told you, right, these politicians, many of them help them out, and that's it, they're all set.
And say me one thing. So, what happens to the lawyer who filed the student visa for them? Do they taken for a task, or they are let go, or how does
No,
it
no,
work?
it's okay. You got to keep in mind that these people have no identification. Once they come into the country, they throw away their identification. So there is no way you can link this particular person. Let us say Ajay Sharma. I'm just giving you an example, right? There's not related to anybody. Ajay Sharma. Okay. This man comes in with a passport. He gets he gets an admission into um, Durham College in Canada. Okay. To do a course. All right. So he gets a student visa. Whoever the lawyer is, processes the student visa and all that. Then They get him all the the visa, all that is done, and then boom, he gets the I mean, that's after he gets the letter of offer from Durham College, and now he's booking his air ticket. He comes to Canada, and on the way, this Ajay Sharma has a passport. Ajay Sharma has a driver's license, and Ajay Sharma may have a PAN card, an Aadhaar card, and all that kind of stuff, whatever India has given him, right? But guess what he does? On the aircraft, when he's about to land, this is just minutes before landing, right? What he does is he basically tears up everything. Okay, he destroys it. He destroys his passport, Indian passport. He destroys all the Indian identification. Now this Ajay Sharma has nothing on the bag, nothing on the things. So he would have made sure that no information is on the suitcase that has been checked in, okay, about himself. No ID cards, no information about himself. It's all just clothes and things and whatever, right? Belongings, nothing other than that. So basically what he does is he comes out to the comes out of the aircraft, disembarks, and then he is now let go through the security, right? So to the immigration counter. So up until when he disembarks from the aircraft till he goes to the Canadian immigration counter, there's no check. Nobody's checking his passport.
Right.
Nobody's checking for IDs. Nothing. Only when he goes to the immigration counter, that is when the person is going to ask, "Sir, your passport," and he should have filled one form before he goes to the Canadian authorities. He doesn't fill any of that. He's just standing in the line, and when it comes to the seeing the immigration officer is going to ask him, "Sir, can I get your form and can I get your passport?" He says, "I don't have any of that." "Sir, can you please step aside? What's going on?" And he says, "I'm seeking asylum." And boom. Now Ajay Sharma will become Rohit Malhotra or George Fernandez or who knows, anything. You can call yourself anything.
Wow. So, but the interesting thing before we wind off, okay, is I have a couple of things here. The colleges here, the listed are all the high intensity the recruiting colleges. Okay, that's what it is listed here. If you can see it, and number two, just give me your final word. How it is affecting this scandal? This cannot be done without the masters in the political arena. Do you agree, Vinayji, on that?
I think I agree with you on that, because I mean, like, a lot of these people, they're students. They're in the age group of around 18 to 21, 22, somewhere in that range, right? Or even maybe 25. But most of these kids, they're kids. They don't have the exposure to all of these devious activities and stuff like that.
Yeah. Now my question to attach to it is, um, how it is affecting Canada and Canadians. That's what my
Well,
final question to you is.
so just to answer your first question, so these kids without a political connection, obviously, or some connection, I'm not going to say political, it could be any connection, these kids will not be able to execute this kind of a scam. Okay, number one. Number two, how does it affect Canada? How does it affect the Canadian system? It's affecting us quite a bit, because end of the day, you got to keep in mind that these people are going to live at the on using the taxpayers' money for X number of months, X number of years, could be, okay, before their case is settled. And who is paying all those expenses for their living expenses, for their food and accommodation, all that stuff, right? It's all coming from the taxpayers' money, right? Number one. Number two, they're also exploiting the system. They are saying they're coming in as students, and then they're seeking refugee status just because they want to live in Canada. I mean, is that fair to the system? Is that fair to people who are genuinely interested in coming and settling down in Canada on points basis? Or
And And these people will be essentially not too much literate anyway, because many of them are young kids.
Who knows? I mean, they could be just because these kids are could be just finished grade 12 when they come here. What are their job prospects? What are their, I mean, like, what is their career plans? Like, how do they manage to contribute to the Canadian economy, to the growth of the country, and stuff like that? They're not. They're going to become a burden to the country by by working all these menial jobs, and then eventually going on work employment insurance and stuff like that, and eventually they'll go on social security, right? And eventually their main idea, their main plan, the main goal is not to come in legitimately. If they come in legitimately, then I would say yes. But these guys are fraudsters. They've come in illegitimately through these false means, and basically, what is their motto? What is their goal? Their goal is to exploit the country. That is the
And yeah, of
very
course.
unfortunate.
Thank you very much, Vinay, for coming and sharing. Absolutely, it's mind-boggling, and hope people will wake up. And this is a big, big thing. And thank you for coming and pouring your wisdom. Appreciate it, and looking forward to talking to you very soon again. Friends, do watch the video and comment. What do you think? Did you ever hear of this, of student visa coming in and converting it to refugee status? What do you think of it? Do comment. And let us know. Looking forward to talk to you on the next video. Till then, Jai